So I was watching E-Man's live stream. Shout out to E-Man. And I heard some news about Letitia Wright and some of the comments that she's made on set on the Black Panther 2 set.
Yeah. Thought that was your block. My niggas ran that. Them niggas big pussy. Pass me a Tampax. Selling that powwow. I got that anthrax.
Yeah, some comments about a certain remedy for a certain bug that's been going around here.
So way to put it.
You know, I don't know if it's I don't want to call it superiority, but I don't know if it's just a type of obliviousness to a social climate, if it is just a complete disregard for other people's points of view, right? You have to know in the situation that Letitia Wright is in, right? You are the face of a franchise for one of the most commercial entities on the planet, probably the most commercialized entity on the planet.
Top 3 easy.
Being Disney. I don't even know who is more commodified than Disney. I can't.
Amazon?
That's hard.
No,
that's hard.
No.
Man. Nah, man.
Yeah,
Because Amazon don't give a
it.
fuck about their bad press.
That's a fact.
They don't give a damn. Yeah, man. They are a supernatural entity of a corporation. And so having that information, having real life case studies of how taking certain stances in a very dismissive way can lead you to be collecting unemployment checks when it comes to Disney.
I was just going to say this kind of reeks of the whole Gina Carano situation.
I don't know. This would be like, okay, quick Squid Game reference real fast, right?
Did you see all of that to make this reference?
Yeah, I saw it all. Saw the whole thing.
Cool.
Saw the whole thing. All right. So, very first game, right? Red light, green light.
Mm-hmm.
So remember at first, when they first started playing, for the first couple of seconds, when they actually started going, it took people a minute to realize, hey, I need to stop. Right? Red light means fucking stop. But there were so many people that got slaughtered before that, just looking around, looking oblivious as to what's going on. Right? To me, that is just a lack of awareness. That's what I was trying to figure. That's what I was trying to say in the beginning. A lack of awareness to your surroundings. Look, man, I don't have no right to tell Letitia Wright not to be no anti-vaxxer if that's her belief. Right?
Mm-hmm.
If you don't believe in the vaccine, you don't believe in the vaccine.
Yeah.
But you enter into an employment contract with these people, knowing full and well who they were when you signed up. You knew who Disney was before you signed up with them. You knew it. You've been blessed with an opportunity to play a very titular character in a Black franchise that was meant to be a positive beacon for Black representation, and you are putting that in jeopardy so that you can sound like Alex Jones on a Hollywood set. Yeah. And again, I am not trying to take away from her opinions on the vaccine. She can believe whatever it is that she believes. But you're not about to sit up here and tell me that you want to be Shuri. And yet you running up and down the sets being anti-vax, giving them enough ammo to have these stories that we coming out right now. So I'm confused. I don't know if Letitia Wright actually even want to be Shuri. We may not know because the way that she's moving would tell me that she don't want to be Shuri.
You have to be aware at some point of Disney's rights as employers to just terminate you at will because of the comments that you're making.
She
You have
acting
to be
like
aware.
one of them first 20 people that got shot in red light, green light that just kept on running. They just kept on going. I don't understand what's going on.
It's kind of nuts. You like, unfortunately, you are replaceable.
Very. You a black woman in Hollywood. So like, it's like she don't care. It's like she's. I understand being, uncensored in your point of views, right? But you have private platforms that you can do that on, right? And I feel like, and in that way, you would be protected. It's easy to pick up your phone and tweet something. Well, that's what got Gina Carano in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what got Gina Carano. I feel like somehow though it's easier to separate if you saying that shit like personally. No, that's what got her in trouble in the first place. She made a video on her own shit.
No, she shared a video. She shared somebody else's video.
She shared a video.
But it also had transphobic comments in it as well. So that it was like a double.
Yeah, man.
Double whammy.
I can't even figure this out for her. The only thing that I know for sure is that if she want to keep her job, she's going to have to let up on that because they're just not about to let it fly. They know that the majority of people in the country believe otherwise. And so that's the crowd that they are going to cater to unforgivingly, right? They're not trying to hear any of that. They'll let the whole southern part of the country feel that way and suffer whatever results because of it. And they feel that they'll prosper beyond it because the majority of people do not think that way. Mm-hmm. Right? So they're making a calculated decision on what side they're taking in this whole political fight. If you see that as an employee of Disney and then choose to fight against that current, you either have become an activist overnight, which is, I mean, if she feels like her political cause is just enough, well on you, sister. Just know what you're giving up.
Yes.
Know the opportunity that's being spared here and kind of weigh that against what it is that you're fighting for.
1000%. You have a choice. It's either the job or your stance.
She either is an activist or she's just not bright. And at this point, I don't know which one it is.
I mean, I guess we'll see. But the question that I have for you is, how do you think this will actually impact the whole shooting status, if at all?
I was going to ask you that.
I mean,
so I don't know, man. I feel like it would have to rise to the level of fireable offense. So he say, she say on the set is not fireable unless it's like directed towards someone or somebody heard her say a slur or something like that, right? Mm-hmm. It is going to have to get to a fireable offense before they start thinking about other stuff. Now, I think that they're already regretting their decision of announcing that they weren't going to recast Tchalla. I think they realize they have a rift on their hands, and that's why they're not really speaking on anything about this movie. All of the leaks that we get on all of these movies, right? And the only one it ain't getting leaked, unless it's something that is detrimental to the pro recast crowd. It's just lip seal. We don't even have a synopsis for the movie,
right? At all.
We less than a year away. We don't even know what the movie's about.
They could be on the 10th script by this point.
Right. We don't even know what the damn movie is about. So, for them to even start thinking about, well, again, I talked about that, but with them regretting it, I think they have altered somehow the disappearance / killing of T'Challa in a way that allows them to kind of pivot to a new version of him. variant T'Challa's son, long lost son of T'Chaka, right? I think before all of that, before all of the initial blowback that they got for not recasting, and obviously before Letitia Wright, they were full stop. We'll kill him, retire the character, we'll move on with Shuri, and then the story will evolve from there. That's at least what it seemed like. After that decision was made, you know, Disney's not deaf. They hear us. They're allowed enough voices that have mentioned this. They've chosen not to respond, but that says as much in itself than an actual response. Seeing that, I think they're starting to realize that, hey, there's a potential for this to backfire on us. And as much good press as these movies are getting in their opening weekends, Black Widow, Shang-Chi, I'm sure Eternals will have an amazing opening weekend. Venom 2, the Sony property, you know, that had a good opening weekend. These are not billion-dollar films. And the production model of Disney is such that you're going to be producing films that are going to be hitting at least $800,000 gross. Or excuse me, 800 million gross.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Approaching $1 billion, because that was the standard that they were hitting on. Really from, I would say, when did the Billy start? Civil War up?
Yeah.
About Civil War up is when that string of billion-dollar films, and every single one, even the ones that were of lesser quality, were still hitting that billion-dollar mark because, you know, obviously the vid hadn't hit yet, and things were a lot different in terms of packing out large-scale events. But that is not what they're getting right now. You have a model that's supposed to make you this much, and you're only making this much, so they're going to start massaging a little bit. I think Kevin Feige is going to start massaging the process a bit, because I don't see, as long as Chapek's involved, I don't see him continuing to shell out these multi-million-dollar budgets for these productions, and you're only getting a fraction of what you were getting before, you know, pre-pandemic. It's just a different model.
They're basically missing the mark.
It can't sustain itself. So knowing that, going into a highly anticipated movie like Black Panther 2, that's why they've rewritten the script 7 times, because they know that there's a lot riding on this next era of films for them, right? If this next wave of films begins to be lesser, or at least perceived that way, now you call into question the original Infinity Saga and say, well, was it just an aberration? We've never seen that before, and it doesn't look like they can replicate it. What does that do? It leaves a rift in the market for somebody else to step into. DC. And the last thing you need to do is give Warner Brothers another opportunity to disappoint anybody. Okay? so they would do well. They would do well to revisit that recast T'Challa situation, because it is not enough to hide behind, you know, the kind of propagandized black representation that you feel is going to be enough to elevate this movie, right? Black Panther 1 did not get the critical acclaim or the success it got because it was filled with tropes, you know, positive or negative, right? It didn't get it because it was the pristine, perfect example of what, you know, white America would like to see in a black film. It was unapologetically black. Even in some of the criticisms you might have with the script, the representation was unapologetically black, right? So don't try to recreate the wheel, right? You're not going to do it, so don't even try, right? Stick to the original model of what Black Panther was meant to be, and stop taking so many liberties with the source material, And then maybe you'll have a chance to build a franchise off of this. But I can't imagine that too many people are going to be breaking down the door to see a Wakanda series after watching the honorable Chadwick Boseman dying again in film form, right? I don't see them trying to force their way back into that universe, right? Or that lore, knowing that everything about this setup is about T'Challa dying, right? How are you going to be able to get away from the fact that Chadwick Boseman died? And maybe that's the point. How are we ever going to move on truly from Chadwick Boseman dying if you are memorializing the new era of Black Panther based on his death? We will never be able to move on from it, because every time we watch a Black Panther property, it will be some sort of event or some sort of spinoff from T'Challa or Chadwick Boseman passing.
Facts.
You are literally making everything that happens in Black Panther from this point on about Chadwick Boseman's death, T'Challa's death.
Yeah.
That is not what this story was supposed to be about. This is not what this story was created for. This is not the type of representation that was meant to be put forth with this title. It was never supposed to be a harbinger of Black trauma. You know what I'm saying? That was never the intention. We done got so
Black
far off of
representation.
damn Letitia Wright.
I mean, but it is what it is. Like that's exactly what it is. And I couldn't put it any better.
Gotta do better, man. Because if that's who you betting the franchise behind, maybe that's why they haven't pulled the trigger on her so quickly, because they knew what the plan was from the go.
Her taking over the mantle wasn't actually a plausible choice because she's getting in her own way, or so it seems.
I mean, we'll see. Again, nothing fireable just yet, but I mean that could change very quickly.
Yeah.
Honestly, there's not much of a difference between the retweeting of that video or whatever from Letitia Wright and what happened with Carano. It's just not. It's just that somebody's got a much bigger role to play.
Hey! Where y'all going? Where y'all going?
Thanks for watching another Back of the Bus Squad episode. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe.
Want to check out another episode related to this, go ahead and click that video to the left.
And if you want to catch up on some of our other episodes, make sure you click the playlist below.